We're here in Bokeelia, Florida today, speaking to Paul Gladding. He's being interviewed by me, Jim Friedlander, and Steve Russell is doing the taping here today. So we'll get started. And thanks for doing this, Steve. It's really appreciated. Can you just tell us a little bit about how you ended up here on Pine Island?
Well, my dad came to Key West from Rhode Island, was in the salvage business. In '59, he moved up here. He quit. It's a rough business.
Which business was that?
Salvage.
Oh, salvage, yeah.
Raising sunk shrimp boats and anything.
Yeah.
Changing propellers and fixing stuff on the water. Then he moved up here.
Okay.
In '59.
And so were you involved in that business too?
Yes. My dad worked everybody. I was pushing barges when I was 9.
And so is that where you grew up in Key West, or?
Yeah, the first time until I was 12, we come up here.
Yeah.
But
And so when you moved up here, where did you live here?
where Moyers is now in Bokeelia.
Okay. And so you went to school here? You finished school here?
Not too much.
Not too much.
I left home at 13. I quit school at 13.
Okay.
Then I went and worked.
What were you doing at 13?
Blue crabbing.
Blue crabbing.
I was somebody else.
For somebody else, yeah. And so tell us a little bit about that. What was that like?
The blue crabbing?
Yeah.
Well, we'd go to Turtle Bay, 5 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock, we'd have 2,000 pounds of crabs. There was a lot of crabs back then.
Yeah. And that was in crab pots too, I gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I lived on the front dock for 6 months after I left home.
And so what did you do with the crabs? Who'd you sell those to?
We sold them to Daniels in Fort Myers.
Okay.
We got 3 cents a pound.
And
We'd catch 2,000 pounds a day, and then we'd drink it all up at night.
Did you have to clean the crabs?
No.
No, that's a good
No.
thing. So how did you get them to Fort Myers?
We drove them up in pickup truck. The
You
guy
got a
was
truck.
with had
Yeah.
a little boy, if you knew him or not.
No, I didn't know him. So you did that for a while, and then was there a time when you got your own boats and got started?
No, I went in the Navy at 17.
Okay.
And, I just worked around with everything. I was washing TV antennas for $15. I was washing trailers in North Fort Myers for $2 a trailer. Anything to make $1.
Yeah. That was when you got out of the Navy.
No, that was before I went in the Navy.
Okay.
I made less in the Navy.
So what happened after you got out of the Navy?
I got out of the Navy, I came back here, and there was just no way to make money. I mean, the mullet was 8 cents.
Yeah.
The crabs were 3 and 4 cents. There was just no way to make money. So I moved to Marathon
Okay.
and went lobster fishing and mackerel fishing and pompano fishing. And I worked there for 2 years. Then I went to Key West, and I got a job working for a company called Sea Farms with a fleet of shrimp boats. Mm-hmm. And me and another guy was maintaining about 30 shrimp boats for them.
Wow.
And then I moved back into lobster fishing and everything.
And lobster fishing, that's with pots also, I gather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did that till 76.
Uh-huh.
Then I put the wrong motor in a boat and I couldn't pay for it, so they sent a federal marshal down and took it. So I started building boats. My dad was in the salvage business. We ripped them apart, so I knew everything about it, And that was ended up being my profession.
You were building boats. Yeah. And where was that? That was in Marathon?
Started in Key West and then moved to Marathon.
Uh-huh.
I was the finisher. All they had was a hull. And then I was building everything out of wood. I said, let me build you some plugs, and you take a mold off it and send me the shell. And then I'd rig them. Mm-hmm. Motors, I'd build the underwater gear, I'd do everything.
What were those boats like?
Crusader boats, 34 foot. They came off of a Cuban gunboat, the mole.
Wow.
The Coast Guard had them, and he bought one of them.
Uh-huh. So, go ahead.
and change the bottom on them, you know. The black one over at night,
Yes.
that's one of them.
Yeah. Oh, really? Interesting. So, so how after that, what happened after you were done building boats?
Well, we saturated the market, so it really dropped down. So I went back to Key West and bought a boatyard that my dad built for the guy when my dad was 34. He built it for him. I bought it from him when I was 34.
Wow.
And I stayed there 10 years. Then my wife wanted to come back home, move up here.
So your wife was from here?
So I bought the marina.
Yeah.
Because she liked to drink a lot. And you have to have a job. You're not just going up there and being a drunk.
So tell us about the marina.
It was wrecked when I bought it.
Uh-huh.
And we put it back together, and we stayed there 10 years. But my daughter passed away, and then my wife was getting sick. She passed away. Why stay there? You know?
Yeah. That was Lavender Landing, right?
Yeah.
So what was Lavender Landing like then? I know when I first saw it, it had a couple little cabins.
We had 3 rentals,
Uh-huh.
and then I had put upstairs in the big building. I built a house in there, which the county made me take out, and it had another little house where they just got done digging up there. Mm-hmm. And I moved into that. They burnt that 3 days before I bought the marina, and burnt half of the house down. So I rebuilt everything, and the boat ramp was dirt. I put a concrete ramp in it and some seawall,
Uh-huh.
and I dug it out by hand with a pair of clam tongs. You don't have to get a permit if you do it by hand.
Yeah.
Yourself.
So what services were there? I gather you paid, or people had to pay to launch their boats there, right? Or was it totally different then?
It was $5 to launch your boat and
Uh-huh.
park, and after I put the boat ramp in, I went to $10.
Uh-huh.
We rented a room for $85 a night, and you get a boat dock with it. So, and we had people from Florida mostly. We didn't do no wintertime business. All the business was summer.
Yeah, I gather it was much better fishing in the summer then.
Yeah, the farmers come down, and
Yeah.
they can't plant and all.
Yeah. So that went on for 10 years,
For 10 years, yeah.
and then you got into the crabbing after that.
Oh no, I was crabbing doing that.
Oh, you were?
I've been crabbing since 1970.
Okay.
Even though I had businesses, my boatyard and all, I didn't work on weekends. So I went crabbing and lobster fishing, diving lobster.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Can you describe how crabbing works? I mean, for people who don't know anything about how it works.
you put the traps out and you pull them.
Yeah.
You have to. It takes like I don't go outside anymore. I used to go way offshore, and you just get beat up. You know. I made a lot of money out of it. 2000, I've had $250,000 worth of crabs.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
So you buy the pots but you put the concrete in them?
Yeah, they're knocked down. They're in a box.
Okay.
You got to put them together and
okay.
screw everything on them and concrete them and all.
Yeah.
And it takes a long time to figure out the bottom what they're doing.
You mean where to put them?
You never really know where to put them.
I would imagine over time you'd start to
Over time,
get
you
a
got
better idea.
hot spots, But
Yeah.
like now, I'm catching them back in 2 feet of water. Nobody ever thought that you'd catch stone crabs in 2 feet of water.
Yeah.
Sometimes the traps are sticking out of the water.
I've seen them. Yeah. Are some of the traps wire? I see yours are plastic.
I have 600 wire traps in the water, blue crab traps.
Uh-huh. Those are blue crab traps.
Yeah.
And then the plastic ones are stone crab traps?
Yeah.
I see.
And I catch stone crabs out of the blue crab trap. Don't catch many blue crabs back there.
Yeah, yeah. So how has the crabbing industry changed over the years?
Just more regulation.
More regulations.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It hasn't changed that much.
The crabbing is still catching about the same amount of crabs as you used to. Interesting.
Just up and down.
Yeah. Yep. So the quality of the water, I mean, we've seen the deterioration.
Yeah, some years you have bad water.
Yeah.
And the red tide will come and kill the crabs.
It does kill the crabs.
Oh yeah, doesn't kill them all, but it kills
Yeah.
Well, I think a crab buries up. Stone crabs will get in a burrow. They dig a burrow, and it'll be. You might have seen it in the shallow water, the white holes on the bank, and the little mound. That's stone crab.
Okay.
100 of them will get in there.
Wow.
And people used to have a hook and pull them out. They made that against the law. Can't do that no more.
When they passed that ordinance?
Before I was up here, they did
Long
that.
time
It was
ago.
a long time ago.
Yeah, yeah. And so, so you pulled the lobster or the crab pots, and you once you take them out of the, I gather you're going to take them out of the pot while you're on the boat, and so then what happens with them?
I break their claws off
Okay.
if they're big enough.
Yep. You can take both their claws.
Yep.
Okay.
If they're big enough.
Yep. And then what do you do with the claws?
I break mine into a bucket of water, keeps them fresh.
Okay.
You know, salt water.
Yep.
And then I bag them and take them to the fish house.
So you don't have to ice them.
You can't ice them.
You can't ice
If
them.
you ice them, the meat sticks to the shell and the cartilage.
Oh,
They got to
okay.
be cooked that same day
I see. And then they're cooking them at the fish
at the fish
market.
house. Yeah. When I first got here, I was cooking them because they wouldn't buy them. There was nobody. They wanted to give me $2 a pound. I was getting $7, so I cooked them and took them back to Marathon.
Have you always used the fish market over here? Has that always been?
No, I've never used that. I use island crab.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. You don't use Jug Creek.
No,
Okay.
no.
Is it who owns Island Crab?
Jeff Hoagland
Okay.
and Pinchers. Pinchers own 51% of it.
I see.
And island crab is the distribution for Pinchers.
I see.
They got their hamburger, their steak, their vegetables. They got $3 million worth of seafood there from everywhere.
Wow.
They bring it in from
Wow.
everywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. So you have two boats, I see. So can you tell us why you have two boats?
I use one for blue crabbing, for the pool of blue crab trap, and the other one for stone crab trap.
Why is that? Why do you have to have different?
I can't get back in with the big boat for the blue crab trap. I can't get back in there.
It is because they're in shallower water.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. Interesting.
No, I blue crabbing this summer. If
Yeah.
I get 6 months off. Yeah.
And stone crabbing,
Get 6 months off.
you get 6 months off of that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are they?
No, the blue crab, you can blue crab all the time.
Oh, you can blue crab.
And then every other year, you have to take all the traps out of the water for 10 days in July
Okay.
so they can eradicate the lost ones.
But other than that, you can leave them in all the time.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
You can't leave them too long, they get dirty.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Blue crab won't get in it when it gets dirty.
Okay. So do you pull them and clean them right on the spot?
All,
Put them back?
all the time.
Yeah.
I pressure clean them.
Yeah. That sounds like a lot of work.
It is a lot of work
Yeah.
if you don't like it.
I gather you like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I hear from all the
I
fish.
like to chase them down and figure them out.
Yeah.
You know, I used to catch a lot more, and I don't catch as many now. But I've got it down where I have no overhead.
Yeah.
You know,
So it's working out.
see,
for
I
you.
fix everything myself.
Yeah. Yeah. I saw your shop. I gather you fix everything. Yeah.
I got a hardware store down there.
You do. I saw it. That's wonderful. Yeah. So are there many other crabbers on the island? Many other people doing it?
Yeah, Shane Dooley's doing it. Eddie Barnhill's doing some of it. There's only 120 crabbers statewide,
Okay.
so there's maybe 10 people here that crab.
And they can all make a living doing it?
So
Some of them, yeah.
you got the big wheels that come. They buy a lot of traps, and they had a little boat, so they go buy a 45-foot boat. You know, a propeller for the little boat costs $400. A propeller for that 45-footer costs $8,000.
Right, right.
So if something happens, when they hit the button in the morning, it's about a $2,000 bill to go. There's 3 people on the back of the boat, 1 guy running it.
Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah.
pay.
I run mine for $85. That's it. On a hard day.
Yeah, yeah. Interesting.
So I just quit going offshore.
Yeah.
I'll stay inside. And when you go offshore, they blow all over the place. Then you got to go find them.
Yeah.
It takes 3 weeks to find them, then they blow all over the place again.
How far out did you go when you were going offshore?
10 miles, 12
Oh,
miles,
wow. Yeah. And how deep's the water out there?
50 feet,
Yeah.
60 feet.
So you need a lot more line.
45 feet, yeah.
Yeah.
And I crabbed from Englewood to Sanibel. One time I had 3,500 traps.
Oh. That's amazing. Did you always have a hydraulic davit?
Well, on the other boat was hydraulic. This one's electric.
Electric. Oh yeah.
No, my other boat was hydraulic.
Yeah, because I was thinking pulling up 50 feet of pot warp.
It takes about 70 seconds to pull.
Is that all? Yeah.
75-foot
So
rope.
pretty quick. Did you ever have any serious accidents out there? Because it's pretty, really.
Broke my wrist and things like that.
Yeah. The other day when I was over here, you were telling me about a little altercation you had with a snake. Can you tell us about that?
Yeah, I got bit with him. He bit me right there on the end of the finger, see it?
Yeah.
That was 2011.
And tell us about how that happened.
I was putting traps overboard. He was in the rope, and he looked just like a rope, them little pygmy rattlers.
Uh-huh.
And when he bit me, I threw him away. Just reaction.
Yeah.
I was out off of Boca Grande.
So he had crawled onto your boat to get on?
No, I was taking the traps off the land and putting them overboard. So when I reached in to get the rope, he let me have it. And
Wow. So
it almost killed me for 2 years.
did you get medical help?
You can't get nothing if you don't have the animal.
Oh, really? Is that right? They have to see the animal.
Yep.
So what, you just didn't?
Just weathered it through. They gave me hydrocodone so I could sleep. My
Yeah.
hands all swelled up, both of them like this. This one would turn black. You pick little places out of it. And I came out of it with no joint pain. It took about 2 years. I sat downstairs and counted the birds fly by. That's all I could do. And I was crabbing, but I couldn't close my hand. It was really hard to steer the boat and break the crab.
Yeah.
But I won't quit. That's the problem.
Oh, brother. Yeah. I've never seen I haven't seen any rattlesnakes around here, but I guess there are some.
They're here. There was one in the ditch the other day up
Is
here.
that right?
A little pygmy. And they claim they're bad.
Yeah.
They're just bad as a big one.
Is that right? Yeah. Better watch out for those. So, Steve, you got any questions you want to ask?
We've heard that in the old days, Pine Island was a pretty rough place. There were there's a lot of drinking in the bars, a lot of fights. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
A little bit. If you went to St. James and you were from Boquilla, you get in a fight.
Oh.
If you went to Matlacha, you get in a fight. If you wanted to go to the, what the hell was the name of it? The Loblolly. If you wanted to get your ass kicked, you could go in there and don't do it.
What years was that?
In the 70s
Yeah.
and the 80s. If you went to North Fort Myers, which there was nothing there then, the cowboys would beat you up. It was all cowboys.
Yeah.
Where Del Prado and all that was, when I moved here, was palmettos and pine trees. There was nothing down the whole road.
What were they fighting over? Just to fight?
You were there.
You were
You
there.
went from there. My brother-in-law come from El Jabin. He was in what they call the Sea Breeze, was Captain Con.
Yep.
He was playing the jukebox. One of them hit him in the head with a crescent wrench and knocked a big hole in his head. And he cut people. And if he reached in his pocket, pull that big case out, you're going to get it. And the guy ran by him, he stuck him in the waist and it come out his knee.
Oh.
So that's the stuff that went on. My mother called it the bloody bucket.
Did you try out these places much, or
Did I what?
did you go frequent these places at all, or did you stay out of them?
I went everywhere.
You went everywhere.
14, 15 years old. I was drinking just like I was
Yeah.
20.
Yeah. You survived though. No knife fights.
I never cut nobody.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Little boy probably cut 50 people.
Wow.
Well, they were going around the pool table, and the guy ran. He just leaned over it like that, stuck that knife in him, and he'd go later, look what little boy did to me. He had a scar all the way down his leg.
And there was no police, I suppose, out here.
It was one Ted Smith,
Yeah.
and one deputy sheriff on the island. That was it.
Yeah. Things have changed a little
He'd
bit.
catch you driving. You boy, be careful now. We're 13, 14, 15 years old driving.
Yeah.
We scallop fish some here. The causeway finished that.
Yeah, I heard that it's ruined the scallop fishing.
Oh, there was a lot of scallops
Yeah.
for July and August.
So it cut down the flow. Is that what did
They
it?
changed the water flow,
Yeah.
and the scallops they come here now, but not like they were.
Yeah.
I mean, you go out there and get 20 bushels in a day. And
Wow.
Matlacha, most of the ground is probably built on a scallop shell.
How did they scallop?
You have 30-inch wide drag that's shaped like this,
Uh-huh.
and Y on the front where you tie it into, and then they had a net bag on it. Mm-hmm. And you just tow two of them. We had 9-horse Briggs & Strattons, so we could run in hardly no water.
Yeah.
And you just drag them, and all the people here pulled them by hand. I had a gin pole.
Nice.
Oh, my.
So you were doing that for a while.
But, yeah,
Yeah.
everybody was.
Everybody was.
That was all it was in the summertime. You
Yeah.
couldn't get nothing for blue crab. You can get, I think they were paying $2.50 a bushel for scallop.
And where did the scallops go? Same fish markets?
That big blue building they just tore down in Matlacha,
Yep.
that was Mrs. Piner's. She bought most of them. And they opened them right there.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know where they sent them to.
Yeah.
Futch opened them there where the old fish market is. And then if you come over the Matlacha Bridge, there was another one out there behind that garage. They built houses there now.
Yeah.
There was a big industry here.
Yeah. Amazing.
You
Yeah.
could take your boat and tie it up where Pineland is. That was a drainage ditch.
Yep.
Just leave it there, nobody mess with it. You know, you come back in the morning, all your stuff's there, bring your gallon of gas and your sandwich. Same thing
Amazing.
at the co-op
Yeah.
with the mosquito ditch. You just pulled up there and tied up to a mangrove.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
No more, everything belongs to somebody now.
Yeah. 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 Well,
You spent a lot of your life on the water.
All of it.
You must have seen some amazing things out there as far as storms. Did you ever see anything unusual that you couldn't explain? UFOs, anything like that?
I want them to take me with them. I'll clean the bilge, I'll do anything they want, just take me with you.
Did you ever get caught out in bad storms?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Wondered if you get back?
Yeah, yeah. My dad, we left here. We had an 80-foot barge, a wooden barge. It was made out of about 3x8s,
uh-huh.
and it had all his tools on it. Had spuds on each end that we used in Key West. We built docks and everything. Built all the Navy docks.
Uh-huh.
And my job was to chop the points on the piling, put steel points on them so we could drive them through. But anyway, we left Marco. We had a 50-foot tugboat, and it started blowing, and it got so bad that I got in a little Boston Whaler and went back there about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and the whole deck was going like this. So we towed it till it broke apart, and we left the anchor on it with 600 feet of nylon tow line so nobody would run into it.
Yeah.
It ended up, one side of it ended up on where the lighthouse is at Sanibel. And that we lost that off of Everglades City. And we ran 4 hours ashore to get out of the weather. And, I mean, it was coming over the top of that tugboat. It was scary.
Yeah, that sounds really scary. And I imagine here in the bay where it's so shallow, it gets pretty steep. Yeah. Yep.
I came around Cape Horn on an aircraft carrier. It was in the Navy. We were refueling from a 600-foot oiler, and he was going down to the bridge in the water. I got a picture of it in there. He was diving and going right down to the bridge. And when he would come out, you could see the whole bow, the whole bottom. 40-foot sea. You get stuck you get them out here, you get some days when you fish offshore. Because I'd go out in the fronts, I don't care. And I get caught out there.
Yeah.
And it's hairy.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, well, the thunderstorms, the way they come through here.
We're on the fronts.
Yeah.
And like we were up off Englewood, and I knew a front was coming, but we started pulling, and we were doing real good. We were catching 400 a day then. And the front came over. I said, well, the black cloud will leave in a few minutes, and we'll go back pulling. Well, in a few minutes, all the floats went down. The tide pulled them down. I said, well, we better try to get in. So I tried to get in Gasparilla Pass. No way. I headed to Bocagram Pass. Before I got into the pass, they were 14 feet. They were breaking on them shoal, and we had to come through that. I had to get off the flying bridge. Me and Daryl was with me then.
Oh, yeah.
And I told him, we're 400 pounds up here. Let's get off of here. Because you could reach down and touch the water and roll over so far in the flying bridge.
What were you fishing for with that?
Crabs.
Crabs, yeah.
And
wow.
when I turned to come up the channel, I had to go all the way to the sea buoy. Daryl goes, want me to steer? I just tried prying my hands off his steering wheel. There was water coming in the boat everywhere. Yeah.
Wow.
Then my attic.
Yeah, I can tell.
I don't do that no more.
Yeah.
I'll go out when it blows, but I'm in shallow.
Yeah, you're out here.
You know.
Yeah. Well, everybody we've talked to that was a lifetime fisherman, they're all like you. They all just love it. Of course, some of them can't do it anymore, like Joey Morton. You know, we talked to him, and I don't know. Do you know Joey?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not doing too well. He's on oxygen. So
Yeah, I know him real good.
yeah, nice guy. Yep.
Joey was a bad guy. He twisted the head off the mullet when he got mad and stuff. So I had a guy working. I had a guy working for me, and he'd been working for Joey, and they were fighting. I went to get fuel over there. I used to buy it there. Joey jumped on the boat. He's going to beat his ass. So he flung back and started swinging at him, and I grabbed his fist in midair. I said, not on my boat. I said, if you want him to beat your ass, you take him up the street and let him do it. You're not going to do it here. Joey just looked at me.
That's funny. Yeah.
He done good, marrying Virginia and all.
Yeah, she's a nice woman. Yeah.
I knew her dad more.
Yeah. Yeah. He ran the marina, the fish house over here, right?
Yeah, he owned that one.
Yeah.
He owned the one where the big blue building was. That was his freezer, that big concrete building there.
Yep. Yep.
Used to be Woody Shell Shop. They built that to freeze mullet, and that didn't work out good.
No.
Mullet's no good after you freeze them anyway.
Yeah.
No fish is.
Yeah. Yeah. They were just doing that so they could ship them. Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you going to ship them to? They sent them to Georgia, and the mullet got to be more than hamburger, so people bought hamburger. Quit buying the mullet. You know something strange about mullet? You can't sell them, unless they got roe in them. In the summertime, they cut them back to 200 pounds a week or a day. But if you go to Arcadia or Fort Myers, where can I get some mullet? Nobody markets them. Everybody wants mullet.
Mullet, yeah. Huh.
You eat them?
Yeah, I eat them once in a while. Smoked. I like them smoked, okay.
If you take him and break his neck and fillet him,
yeah.
when you catch him?
I don't catch them because I don't use a cast net.
We break their neck, bleed them out.
Uh-huh.
And they're really good.
That's like I catch bluefish back in Connecticut. The same thing there. You got to bleed them. You buy it in the fish market, it's no good because they don't bleed them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's terrible.
If you catch them, it makes you bleed.
Yeah, they'll do that.
They got razor blades for teeth.
Keep your fingers out of there. Absolutely. Yeah, they're wicked.
You used to catch the mackerel, and you had a roller up high on the boat. that's how you get the net in.
Yeah.
And if there was a bluefish in there, he'd just run down that net and just slice it open like razor blades. You don't catch big ones here.
No, we get big ones. We get big ones.
Up north, they get
Yeah,
them
we
big
get
ones.
big ones. Yeah, occasionally. Not so much anymore. The fishing up there is
I know I was in Norfolk in the Navy, Virginia Beach, they caught some big
ones.
big bluefish there.
Yeah. Yep, not so much anymore. Matter of fact, we didn't have any kind of bluefish run last year. There weren't any. Yeah, it's like here, you know.
People say I'm crazy, but the worst thing they ever did was do away with the draft. It took people in, it taught them responsibility and organization. Now they don't know anything.
Yeah.
Gives them some maturity too.
Yeah, yep. Well, you learn to take order. And
Yeah.
they just don't do that no more. The kids now, I guess it was that way when we were kids, but it just seems so much worse now.
Yeah. Well, I think a big problem now is all the electronics. You know, these kids are just locked into. They stay in their room and then look at their phones. You know.
They're on the damn boat with the,
Oh yeah.
and I go by one and get off the phone, you're on the boat.
Yeah. You see it everywhere. You know.
Everywhere.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, and now it's in the schools. You know, it's everywhere.
They shouldn't. Little kids don't have no business with the phone.
No, I agree.
But they know all about sex by the time they're 6 years old.
Yeah, it's true.
And how to rob people, and they show them how to make bombs,
Yeah.
guns.
Yep. Times have changed.
But anyway, we moved up here, and my dad bought that property down there. He took a Cuban freighter off the reef at Tortugas. That was his last job, and he got $26,000 for it. So he came up here and bought this place for 20 grand.
Which place? What did he buy?
Where Warriors is.
Oh yeah. Okay.
We owned from the beach to the creek. It was 2,600 feet, 100 feet wide.
Who dug that canal?
Me.
You did? Yeah.
Yeah. My brother started. He dug about 50 feet on the end. Him and the old man got in a fight. So he went to work for the oil company. And he showed me, I was 12 years old, I'm going to show you how to run this drag line. And every day I got home from school, when I went to school, get on the drag line. You're not going anywhere.
Wow.
So finally I broke the drag line and I left before we got in a big fight.
What was a drag line like?
The 3/8 yard unit. He bought it from a place in Iona for $1,500, and it was on a hill. My brother drove it off the hill. They brought it out here. It didn't have no walk on it. You had to throw the bucket out and pull it wherever you wanted.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And we pumped it down. We didn't bulldoze. We didn't have a bulldozer. We used the pump water, pumped it down.
Yep. I've seen that. Yep.
But they made it one piece of property now. That was two pieces of property down there. It was two strips.
Uh-huh.
Imagine $20,000 for half a mile of property. He put 8 trailers on it. That's all the county would let him have on it.
Those were rentals.
Huh?
It was a rental. They rented the space.
He rented the spaces, yeah.
Yeah. How long did that last?
I think in 70 or 71 he sold it. He got $90,000 for it. And that place where you go through the cut, I think they turned down $450 just for that lot before they built the house on it.
Yeah.
His tugboat was sunk there for a long, long time. So they must have pulled it out one.
I never saw that. Yeah.
He had a 50-foot tug with a steel cap on the bow and the stern. He just let it.
Just let it go there.
Yeah. He didn't use it no more. He stripped everything out of it and left it there. Back then you could do that.
Yeah. Well, there's still a few abandoned boats around
Take
here.
it out to the boneyard. In Key West, and Christmas Tree Island, that's off of Key West, the backside of it was loaded with old boats.
Old boats, yeah.
You could go by there and the crawfish would be the lobster be sticking out of them.
Good for that.
He bought a 400-foot barge because the summertime was slow down there. So then they'd blast the barge with dynamite and blow it up, and then take it to Miami for scrap. But it was pontoons about that wide in between them, and you could just go along with your spear like that and get all the lobster you wanted. I mean, it just filled right up with them.
Yeah. Well, I think we're pretty good.
Okay.
Yeah. Thanks a lot for your time, Paul.
I have a house full of boats. You step right in here.
You want a light in there, Steve?
Yeah, he's got a light here that's working pretty good, actually.
All right.
That's from an old piece of driftwood I found.
Really?
I glued 3 of them together, and it took me 3 months to get it all done.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's really neat.
It all works. I maintain 30 of them, so I know just about everything. I even got a little toolbox back there with tools in it, little crescent wrenches and pipe wrenches. And
That's cool.
I needed some tires for it, so I went and bought 2 little cars, and I ended up building the winches out of the wheels of the car.
Oh, yeah.
I built all the cleats and the chocks and everything.
Really cool.
You put a lot of time in that.
Oh yeah. You get obsessed with it while you're building it.
Sure.
You like that name?
My ass is...
My ass.
Well,
Yeah.
before I met you, I always admired the names of your boats, the U.S. Navy and the Total Disaster.
A total disaster from my last marriage. Did you ever go to the Raw Bar in Key West?
Yeah, I think so.
The old wheelhouse in the front. The old wheelhouse in the front of the Raw Bar was off of my dad's boat.
Oh, is that right?
And they painted it red. He died. Again, everything was painted green. His middle name was Green.
Oh, okay.
His family was the Greens from Nathaniel Green.
Oh, yeah.
That was my grandmother's family
Really?
in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah. Wow.
My brother was named Nathaniel. My uncle was named Nathaniel. My cousin was named Nathaniel Austin Green. That's just stuff I picked up, build everything.
Cool.
Very cool.
Do you have any more that you want to show us?
I got sailboats. I got race boats. I got the pirate sitting here with a chest full of treasure.
These are beautiful.
My dad had them pirates, so. I'm afraid that I'm going to collect too much stuff and I won't be able to maneuver around my house no more. Here's, take a picture of this. That's on the boat.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
That's last week.
Who took that?
A friend of mine from Wisconsin that
Nice.
goes with me.
That's great. Very nice.
Yeah, Forrestal.
Go ahead, Albert.
What a collection.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I got daggers and knives, and I got a Rambo's knife over there.
See this down here, Steve?
Yeah,
Kind of hard to photograph those. Yeah, that's amazing.
well, can you show us your boats, your big boats outside? That'll be
All right, let's go.
capper.
You go ahead down there. I'll
Okay.
put this stuff away. I'll get that.
See, I made that from driftwood. The corner table's driftwood. The thing that the sailboat's on is driftwood. The shrimp boat's sitting on a driftwood one. This one's inside of a sailboat, this old stairs. And it worked out good for shelving.
Yeah.
I picked that up out of Rose's trash last week, that griffin and the soldier.
Oh, yeah.
He didn't have a sword, so I made him a new sword for him. It was all rusty, and I took Ospo and wire brush and cleaned it all up.
Yeah. It's amazing what people get rid of, you know.
This is driftwood. This is driftwood.
Yay,
All of it.
amazing.
I never
Well,
took.
nice job.
Really
with
cool.
That's some kind of Madeira from Cuba. I put all my stuff up on blue drums. The water was here. So now I drilled holes in the bottom of the drums and went out in the woods and picked all that lumber out of the woods and put all my benches on top of it, and I don't put nothing on the floor no more. You know. It's a total disaster. The puller's on the other side. It's a nice deep boat.
Yeah.
I looked a long time for it. That's a 1977 pacemaker. And I tore it apart and put up diesel in it, and put new decks in it and everything. I build my electric panels
Uh-huh.
in a DeWalt drill box. It's got a nice cover with stainless steel hinges and everything on it.
Like your latch there, a little fish.
Yep. This is your puller.
Oh, yeah.
You hook it and pull it. And you gotta pull the rope. There's no reverse on it.
Yeah, that's
So-
exactly the kind of rig they have in New England for pulling lobster traps.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is a rope cleaner. This is my invention.
That I've never seen. That's a great
I
idea.
take a piece of 2-inch pipe and weld it,
Yep.
and the rope cuts a groove in it, and that thing will clean that rope like you can't believe.
Bet it will.
Take everything off of it.
I bet it will.
So you're gonna have all your traps stacked up back here? Or in front?
Both ways.
How many
don't-
traps can you carry?
This boat, I had 110 on it when I first bought it. They were scattered outside, and I kept finding them and finding them and finding them. And the problem with it then, the deck frame went down and out the stern
Right,
was PVC,
right.
and it had a dive platform on it. After I got in, I started looking at that. The PVC was about halfway through the fiberglass on the stern. If that would have come out of there with them 110 trap, no way you wouldn't even found it because it's under the dive platform.
Yeah, yeah.
And I put a Yanmar in here.
I just bought a Yanmar. I got a sailboat back in Connecticut. I just bought a little two-cylinder 18 horsepower Yanmar to put in it. It had a Volvo in it. It's a piece of junk.
Piece of junk.
It's a piece of
I
junk.
wouldn't put them in the boat when I was building them. I put one in.
Yeah,
I refused to put them in.
yeah. I mean the way they're designed, made, terrible.
I have this one, and I have another one ready to go in.
Uh-huh.
That I bought and rebuilt, put a transmission on it and everything exactly like this one.
How big is this one?
170, 4-cylinder.
Nice. Yep. We had a lobster boat for a while. We had a Perkins and that.
Yeah,
It's a good motor.
they're pretty good motors,
they're
yeah.
about 6.
You can't beat these things.
Yeah,
That thing holds 80 pounds of oil pressure.
that's a lot. It's good.
Every one of them.
Yeah, yeah,
Because I seen one, so I bought it. It's exactly the same, everything's the same on it.
yeah.
And I do that with outboards. I keep a new outboard. If something happens, I don't mess with the old one. I just take it off and put a new one on.
Yep. Going.
You only lose one day.
Neat.
And I've got a pressure cleaner pump, I got a wash down pump, and this thing is, I got an electric pressure. I got, you know what a gear pump is? 2 rotary gears.
Yes. Yeah.
I have one of them on a 1-horse electric motor in here.
Uh-huh.
The son of a bitch will blow you out of the boat.
Yeah, I work on motorcycles a lot. Antique motorcycles. They all have gear pumps, the oil pumps. Yep.
I use a 3/4 gear pump on here. In fact, I've had this one for 20 years, and I hooked up the same motor this has on the bilge. And I had to take the spray nozzle off of it because just once you turn it on, it wets everything in the boat. All right, the little boat's over there.
Yeah, we'll take a look at that.
I got another place I keep my traps. I don't keep them here. That all comes out of the woods. Found it up in the mangrove.
Free lumber.
The composite stuff, I build everything out of it. Anyway, this is an old Mako.
Oh yeah.
It's actually a flare. They took a mold off the Makos and started to begin with. It's like the same as a 19-foot Mako.
Okay.
The only thing is the stringer's loose. They got this resin at the trading post. It's low profile, but it doesn't bond back to itself. So I livened it up because the resin was dried out in the bottom. You know how it turns white?
Yep.
Because resin never stops drying. And then when I put the stringers in, it didn't bond to itself. But it doesn't hurt nothing.
Yeah.
But,
Does the boat flex more because of it? Or
the bottom does.
The bottom does, yeah.
The sides didn't stick, so I cut it all out, pulled it all off the sides, and reglassed everything 2 years ago. But it worked good. I put a step in the stern, so I hardly draw it. It'll run where the grass is sticking out of the water.
Is that right? Yeah.
Just don't stop.
Yeah. Yep.
This is your blue crab boat.
Well, I catch stone crabs with it too. I gotta make a couple changes to pull more stone crab traps because I gotta move my davit out a little bit because I'm gonna run them stone crab traps back in that shallow water next year.
You like that 90 Yamaha?
Yep.
I used to have one on a skiff. Good engine.
I don't understand something. I paid $11,600 for that, for 4-wind. I went back and bought the last one, it was $9,600.
That doesn't usually happen.
No.
Prices go down.
No, $2,000.
That's pretty weird. Did they have an explanation for that?
Nope, I didn't ask.
Yeah.
I paid them cash money. I don't deal with credit cards or
Yeah.
computers or none of that. I deal with cash.
Yeah.
If I can put my hand on it, I don't want it. Oh, we'll order you one. No. I have to order from Hydroslave in Maine, things like that. I use a credit card for
Yeah.
it. Other than that, I don't use one. Take a white envelope. There's a pressure cleaner on this one too.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you can tell your boats are nice and, you keep them clean. Yeah, they look good.
No, that pressure cleaner is the way.
Yeah.
I got it with the throttle where you can slow it right down. And it's nice cleaning the boat. And the gel coat wouldn't stick to the resin. So this is all grip on there.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah.
it don't come off.
Yeah.
It's more expensive, but in the long run, it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And you don't have to keep redoing it.
Right.
When I was building boats, that's what I used. I would use gel coat to start with, and I'd build them downstairs with the bunks and the shower stalls and the cabinets, and you go back there 3 days later and put your hand on it and pull the skin off your hand. Because I can't sell something like this. So I started buying 545 epoxy primer, all grip, and all grip the whole damn boat. And I could paint it today, and you can come in and work on it tomorrow, and they'll skin it up.
Yep. Yep.
I did 200 of them.
Wow.
I was putting out one a week for a while. I've had 10 at the time going.
Where were you doing that?
Marathon in Key West. Been an experience.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah. Well, it's great you're still doing it. Really good.
When I get old, I'm just going to build little shrimp boats and stuff like that. Whenever that is.
Yeah. Still waiting to get old, huh? Yeah.
I'll tell you, if you keep going, you won't get too old.
That's right.
You just,
I know. Yeah, I know. I hate to see my friends, that just stop doing stuff and
yep.
it doesn't work. Pretty soon they're going. All they do is go out to lunch. That's their life, going out to lunch.
I know these guys downtown, Harper Brothers. They're worth $200 million.
Yeah.
When they go to lunch, they go to Wendy's, and they cut the hamburger in half, and they share the French fries. I had that. I had my pilot on. I'm cleaning the boat up. I hit a goddamn channel marker down inside a redfish.
Yeah.
I got to fix that this summer.
Oh well.
That was a surprise. I hit that channel marker. I'm doing about 8 knots, cleaning the boat up. Boom.
Oh, that hurts. That hurts. Oh, you hate doing stuff like that. But it happens. It happens. You're gonna run around long enough. Stuff is gonna happen. Yeah.
Yeah, you turn that pilot on. You're supposed to watch where you're going.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to be cleaning the boat up. It's nice. They're nice. They work.
Yeah.
Because I don't run fast with a load of traps.
Yeah.
It takes you an hour and a half to get home. You sit there with that pilot on.
Yeah, that is nice. Yeah.
I'll be in this one tomorrow. It's gonna rain. Big deal.
Yeah, half the time when they say it's gonna rain.
Yeah, well, the 60%, but that's 60% over 3,000 square miles.
Yeah. Hopefully the wind will settle down. It'll settle down now. Settle down nice now. Hopefully it'll stay down.
I built a David out of the U.S. Navy used to have I had a 350 Chevy in it when I first built it. I found it in a mangrove. It's a 58 Thunderbird.
Oh, wow.
Remember the ones with the split seat?
Yeah.
That's what it was.
Uh-huh.
And I rebuilt that and put it, I was in the boatyard and the summertime was slow. So I put a 350 in that thing. Do about 70 mile an hour. Then I quit. I drove it back and forth to work for 6 months. But all that did was burn a lot of gasoline.
Yeah, they do.
So I pulled that out. My wife goes, I want a little boat. Okay. I pulled it out, took everything out, put a 50 horse outboard on it. I don't want that thing. The hell, I'll go crabbing with it.
Yeah. I can't imagine with these guys with these, 350s, what they pay for fuel.
I seen one the other day in the other canal over there. It's a little bit shorter than that. 2 400s on it.
Yeah, I've seen 400s too. Yeah.
And all you gain with the second motor is 30%.
Is that
speed.
right? Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's all you gain with 2 motors. And then they go by you with
Twice
4.
the gas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the mechanic, Chris, back here,
Yeah.
he said we went offshore with a friend of mine, 100 miles fishing. He said we had an $800 gas bill for the day.
They caught a lot of fish.
They're expensive fish.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's just crazy.
I'm moving in. That rain's starting to move on. Coming over the southwest.
What do you say, Steve?
Want to wrap it up?
I guess.
Okay.